and welcome to the vlog. Trevor and I are out on adventures to get Mother's Day gifts. It's a very busy day ahead of us. Because when we get home we have to clean because we are having people over for, what do you call them, monster burgers?
Basically.
Yeah. Trevor makes these ginormous burgers with cheese buns instead of regular hamburger buns, and they are huge. I've only had finished one ever, and then after I felt super sick because it was just, I ate way too much. So this is what we're doing today, nice and simple. And yes, we are still kid-free until dinner time. Got new shades, got some juice, got some sunscreen for Hayden and I, mostly me because I burned just walking up the street. It's pretty pathetic how sensitive my skin is compared to the sun. And now we're going to get ready for dinner, even though it's not even noon. What are you getting your mothers for Mother's Day? We have scored for the people that we're getting for, which is awesome. Trevor's opened my window, but now I can see because my hair is in my eyes over the sunglasses. It's so nice out. Right, honey? It's so nice out. Summer. I missed you.
Brake check.
Oh, just sure glad my camera's still on. Oh, just really in the boobs.
Yes, they're very big, but they're so good.
Trevor's big burger. Alrighty, so I'm in bed now with my snacks. Got some pickles and cheese and some crackers, and I have my vitamin water, which is full of peach juice, ready to go. So I know my vlog was kind of lacking today. Once we've cleaned the house, we had our company over, we had dessert, and now Hayden's in bed, getting ready for tomorrow. Tomorrow is a very, very long Monday. So my story before we head to bed and actually doze off, because I still have to wash my makeup off my face. It's just my eyes, and last night I was just exhausted when we ended last night's vlog. We had some ice cream and I just passed out on the couch, woke up a bit about midnight, and went straight to bed with my makeup on. And lately, since I've had new face wash and stuff, I have no excuse not to wash my face properly at nighttime. So I'm going to quickly tell you about my labor and delivery story with Hayden. Now, I don't remember a bunch of the stuff, but I do remember a lot of it. So it was March 17th and about mid-afternoon. I was at my in-laws' place because that's where we were living at the time, and I was on the computer messaging my mom and my aunt through Facebook Messenger. Facebook Messenger or Facebook Messenger, and I started having some contractions, and we were just joking around about with my aunt that if I went into labor, these are the days that she would be working at the hospital. And you know, contractions started getting really heavy and didn't even think about it because I had weeks and weeks and weeks full of Braxton Hicks. So I didn't even really think that, okay, this could be it. So I log offline, I go sit in the bathtub for about an hour, and I couldn't relax that whole time. The contractions were getting heavy and heavy and heavy, and I waited. And I couldn't time anything because one, I didn't have a watch at the time, and two, I was just relying like, okay, I've been in here for a while. There was a little clock at the time in the bathroom that said that I saw the time when I went in, and then I saw the time when I got out. And I'm like, okay, go in the kitchen, have some water, see if that would actually help the Braxton Hicks, and it didn't. I go downstairs. That's where Trevor was playing his video games. So I'm like, yeah, I really think it's time to go. And this is about the 4th time where I'm thinking it's time to go. When we get to the hospital, usually they get you to do a urine test to see like your levels and if you have anything happening. Then they took me up to the monitor. Well, the monitor wasn't picking up half my contractions and I was feeling them harsh. They were very, very consistent. My water hadn't broken yet, and I was already about 2 centimeters for about a week prior. So the nurses came back and they said that I had high protein in my urine and they wanted to check me out. Well, that's kind of funny because I was at the doctor's office a couple days prior and they didn't say anything about that, or they would have called me saying, get your butt in the hospital, or they would have let my doctor know. So I called my girlfriend and she was part of my labor team and she came down running. She spent about an hour with us, and then after that we called my mom and the rest of my labor team, and they said, okay, we'll be there in the morning. By then the nurse said, you're spending the night, we're gonna see what happens. Well, by now it's like 11 o'clock. They're not gonna send me home for a couple hours when I have to return and do another urine test in a couple hours. Well, the contractions get worse and worse and worse. I start bleeding a little bit, which is, normal. They sent me into the shower and just said, just have a shower, just relax, and thankfully Trevor was there. In the morning, my best friend, Lisa, she showed up. My mom and everybody else showed up. And they were doing other checks on me. My urine was still really, really high in protein. So basically, I had the signs of preeclampsia. Well, I'm already in the hospital. So it's not a big deal. I'm already in labor. It's not a big deal. I get induced with a gel stuff. If you've ever had it, it makes you have a hard contraction for 1 hour. You can't have any painkillers. You just have to let your body do its thing for 1 hour. I remember going on my side, squeezing, like my knuckles were going white in pain. I remember Trevor had to leave the room for whatever. My brother is rubbing my back, telling me, it's okay, you're absolutely fine. And it's really hard to believe him when I'm in this excruciating pain. So the hour goes by, they check me, I'm only at like a 4. Great. I'm only at a 4. By then, they put me in another room going, this is your room, you're going to have your baby in. Perfect. Okay, great. By then, I'm not allowed to eat anything or drink anything. I am allowed to have, I was allowed to drink. I wasn't allowed to have anything to eat. They put me in a room, and I remember going into the tub off and on, and people come and go, and I remember I wasn't dilating, but the contractions were getting harder and harder and harder. Now, this is Thursday we're going on March 18th, and they were getting harder and harder and harder. I'm in and out of the bathtub. I didn't even think about taking a shower. It was just excruciating pain. I go on the birth ball that they had. That didn't help. I went in the tub. It helped ease, but didn't help ease that when people were holding my hands going, it's okay, you can do it. And then look at the clock going, your contraction starts in 5, 4. And I'm like, no, I'm fine. And then it was to the T that I would have another contraction. From now, I'm like screaming. And I remember after that, every time I had a contraction, I couldn't handle it anymore. This was about 28 hours in. By then, they get me to lie down. Amber, do you want an epidural? Well, yes, I do want an epidural. Let's do this. They hook me up, get me an epidural. After that, they let my body rest for a little bit. I'm contracting a little bit more. Obviously, I can't feel it with the epidural in. They break my water. By now, I'm about a 7, and it's about 11 o'clock at night. By then, No, I'm sorry, it's about 9ish because I pushed for a while. I have the funny feeling about 10 o'clock that I need to push. They double checked and they said, yes, you know, you're at that point. Everybody out, Trevor stays. I tried every different position. I felt nauseous a few times, but eventually after a couple hours, I actually tried pushing for 3 in different positions, spreading my legs this way, over a ball, over with the bar, like over the bed in a weird kind of funny position. Nothing worked. Well, the doctor came in on call that the doctor said I was seeing at the time. She came in, she started yelling at me, and I understand now why she was yelling at me. She was trying to get my adrenaline going to push harder, and it didn't help. It just made me like, I'm gonna punch you in the face. But now I understand. Another set of doctors and nurses came in because they ended up taking a vacuum to Hayden's head, pulling him out a little bit more, then using forceps and episiotomy and pulling him out. And thankfully, you know, he survived that because that could have gone way downhill super fast. After that, they stitched me up and Hayden was ready to go. Except for, you know, a week after, you know, I went to the doctors and made sure that everything was okay, blah blah blah, and even she agreed that the stitching job that I had was just terrible. And here I'm thinking, what? I'm trusting these doctors, but it is what it is. Well, there's my labor story if you haven't heard it. We will see you tomorrow for tomorrow's vlog. Bye!